Okay, today we're going to go over our ultrasonic skin scrubber. We're going to demonstrate using the ultrasonic skin scrubber in both the cleansing mode and the infusion mode. And so we'll go through the different ways to use that. We'll be removing an actual cleanser, and then we'll be infusing our Circadia's vitamin C serum. So start out with cleansing first. I'm just going to wet my fingertips. Add some cleanser. One of the things with the ultrasonic is that it does need water in order for the sound waves to work. And so it's going to use a process called cavitation, which will spin those water molecules at a rate of about 28,000 cycles per second. And so in doing so, when they're spinning, it will move and brush off any excess skin that's already just sitting on top. So even though it may not be a full exfoliation, you will get almost like a little buffer. And so I like to refer to it as a power wash. And so here I've just done a really light cleansing. But as you can see, the skin isn't really wet. And so I'm going to go ahead and just dip my fingers back into my water and literally just put some of that extra water on her skin. This is going to be a really easy tool for you to use, for you to up service in the clinic. And so I'll show you both ways that you can do it and get 2 bangs out of the 1 upcharge price for your client, which is a nice added benefit for their service. We always talk about how to make the most out of our time in the chair, and this is a great way to be able to do that. And so I'm going to use this in the cleansing mode, which means that the blade will be down in this motion for you to be able to see how that's going down. And I'm literally just going to turn it on. You can hear that sound. I'm going to touch, and in an upward motion, just pull that cleanser forward. Just bracing on the chin as I'm working around her mouth. And then I'll move that around as I work up the face. If the skin does start to get dry as you're removing, that's okay. Just go ahead and get a little extra water. Re-wet the skin and keep moving. And so the same thing applies to when we're doing our serum. You'll want to make sure that that serum is a water-based serum. So we have the ability to push that in using those sound waves. And that's it. That's the cleansing mode. So I'm just going to take the tip of that and I'm going to wipe that cleanser off, making sure all of that is good. And then I'll go ahead and rinse with a little bit of water, making sure all of that is off. And since we're going to use that same tool for that guest, I can clean it without actually having to disinfect it between. And so now I'll just take my wet 4x4s and remove the rest of that cleanser. But what we have essentially done here is a power wash. Just some light vibration using that ultrasonic sound waves to be able to gently remove some of that dead skin that's sitting on top. I really like to do removal of our enzymes when you're in the clinic. It's a great way to be able to remove that and give a little extra boost to your enzyme without having to do a heavier duty enzyme that a sensitive client may not be able to use. And so this type of technology allows our sensitive skins to be able to get this extra boost. Even your rosacea clients can use a skin scrubber a lot of times because it's so gentle on the skin. And again, we usually have to stick to very sensitive types of products for our rosacea clients. And so this gives them that boost without having to overdo the product type, which may be irritating. So you can see here that she's got just a rosy little glow, but her skin, the texture of it, I'm not sure if you can see it at this point, but the texture of it just looks really nice and smooth. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and apply some vitamin C serum. I'm going to take my scrubber in the down motion, so it's going to be in this position, so it's more flat against the skin. Go ahead and turn that on, and again, just start from the bottom and work my way up. And so in this motion, instead of pulling on the skin, and again, I'm really not using much pressure, you can help to push that product. In this case, we're using our vitamin C, using that to push that product into the skin. And just like that, you can see that starting to tug a little bit, and all of that product has been absorbed. And that's it. Easy peasy. She will finish up with some sunscreen, and she'll be good to go. If we were doing this when we were removing an enzyme, we would leave the enzyme on for the total amount that we would require for that particular enzyme. And then again, just come through, re-wet the skin with your wet gloves, and then remove that enzyme to do that really extra boost of power wash with the enzyme. And then you would follow in with your basic facial. So if it's whatever the steps were going to be left for that facial, depending on what you were doing, if you were going to do a mask or whatever the case may be, then you could again use that same tool to be able to infuse her serum right before the moisturizer and sunscreen at the end of the service. And so currently we're doing one upcharge. You can use it in the cleansing mode and you can use it in the infusion mode for that up service. So it's a great way for you to be able to give that added benefit and authentic beauty service to each guest that comes in.